Yes, guys, welcome back. How's everyone doing? Hope you're all doing well. It is Wednesday afternoon, guys. Hope everyone's doing okay. I don't know if my thing is working. Let me know if it's all working for you guys. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. We're going to be looking at Liverpool squad this season and looking at the squad builder. So it should be a fun show. We're going to be looking at the Liverpool squad for the 2022-2023 season, seeing if we have enough depth in that area. Yes, I hope everyone's doing well today, and hopefully everyone's doing good this afternoon. And yeah, welcome into the show, guys. Welcome into the show. So we're going to be looking at the squad today, Liverpool squad for the 2022-2023 season. We're going to see the depth of the team, where we need options, how we can go next season, how successful we think we can be next season. All the good stuff, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, sorry I'm on a little later than I usually am. I was busy this morning, so I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's doing good. In the meantime, guys, don't forget to please go and hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button and all that good stuff, guys. And don't forget to share this video out around, guys, because I'm after 2K subs before the start of next season. So that is the goal, guys. And before we get into everything, I just want to say a big thank you to all the people that have become members on the channel as well. I'm going to read your names, guys, out right now, because it means a lot to me. It means a lot to be you guys becoming members of the channel. It means loads. It really does, guys. So let me just shout out the members of this channel that I so far. So Eddie, Lakers, Captain Sal's Top Knot, Barry, Ant, Paul, UK Lad, John Moore, Stephen Duffy, Stephen Owens, Savarian, Dugout Football Channel, David, Liz Golden, the Mod Mother, Charlie Webb, Andrew Kerr, Sabiri, Ivan, Helen, the other Mod Mother, John Conway, Ricky, and Raging Pot. Thank you very, very much, members, for joining this membership on this channel. I do really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. It means the world to me, as you guys may know. So we're going to be looking at Liverpool squad depth today. Before we start with that, I'm just going to get to everyone in the comments. Big up Ali, big up James, my first team. Ali, Trent, Kanai, VVD, Robbo, Fab, Thiago, Jude. Let's put Jude in there. Salah, Nunez, Diaz. My second team for cups is Kelleher, Ramsey, Matip, Gomez, Simicast, Hendo, Naby, Elliot, Carvalho, Bobby, and Jota. Afternoon, Ranger Bot. Afternoon, John, Karan. Good morning to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Christopher, big up the man. 6 times the hour this afternoon, Jane Matt. Hope you're well, doing good 6 times. Big up chat. Be aware of depth in a number and not quality. Good vibes. Big up to yourself. Webby, how are you doing? Jamie, my nan's seen you in the local shopping centre this morning. I don't know. Webby, you're trying it. I know what you're trying. You're trying to get where I come from. Let's get Ram in the house here as well. Ram's here as well. How you doing, my man?
I'm very good, man. I don't know if you can hear any background noise, but if you do, there's construction at my house. So
No, you're right at the moment.
Good. Yeah, man, but I'm excited to do this, man. I want to see how much actual depth we have in our squad.
Yeah, that's it. I thought that's because I saw something on BT's Twitter page this morning about they had basically the formation up and the players underneath it and all that. So I thought, let's have an actual look about this. So I have got the 2022-2023 squad here with a few additions that will be going in. Shall I read it out to you? So
yeah, we guys go on. Let's do this, man.
So goalkeepers, as it stands right now: Alisson, Adrian, Kelleher, and Pitaluga. They're the 4 goalkeepers.
Sound.
Defenders, as it stands right now: Virgil van Dijk. It's got in brackets 3rd captain. Ibrahim Konate, Gomez, Simicast, Robbo, Ben Davis. We'll forget about that. Joe Matip, Reece Williams, Nathaniel Phillips, Trent, Sepp Vandenberg, and Nico Williams. So as it stands right now, that is our back line.
Cool.
Midfield, this is where it might get a bit tasty. This is where the debate will probably start. Midfield, Fabinho, Thiago, James Milner, Naby Keita, Endo, Ox, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Fabio Carvalho, as it stands. And in the forwards, Bobby Firmino, Mo Salah, Taki Minamino, Diogo Jota, Luis Diaz, Darwin, Nunez. I've taken Mane out of it because he lost. So that is, as it stands right now, that is the squad we have got going into next season, man.
In my opinion, I think is not perfect. I don't think it's perfect at all. But it's still quite stacked. Like we still got a pretty big squad. But in my opinion, I think with the outgoings that's going to happen, I think we need minimum 2 players this summer, in my opinion. Maybe one of them is already going to happen with Cav and Ramsey. It's just that Aberdeen are messing us around, trying to get a better deal for themselves.
Taking the mick a little bit.
Literally taking the actual mick. And I said it before, ideally a midfielder that is quite energetic and can play on that right-hand side of the midfield, in my opinion. And then we're sorted. I think that's it. We're sorted for the next for this season alone, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I mean, if we look at, so let's have a look at players that will probably be leaving. So I think we can say Oxlade-Chamberlain will probably not be a Liverpool player by the start of the season. It depends if people come calling for him, but I don't think he's part of Jurgen Klopp's plans. Curtis Jones is a strange one. I think Curtis Jones stays at the club personally. But for me with Curtis Jones, Ram, I think it all depends if we do bring in another midfielder. If we bring in another midfielder, are you concerned then about someone like Curtis Jones?
Personally, for me, I don't think so. Because I've said this, I maintain this. I think Carvalho will be playing as a winger under Klopp. Few people have been saying we'll play a 4-2-3-1. He's playing a 10. I don't doubt that. But even in this Liverpool team, even if we do bring in another midfielder, I still think he will have his opportunities when it does come about. Because let's be honest, the players like Thiago, Naby Keita, they don't stay fit. It's as simple as that. They do not stay fit. So having Curtis Jones as like a 4th or 5th choice centre midfielder, and let's be honest, he's still learning his game. It'll be very good for us because he's still a talented player, in my opinion. I can affect games quite effectively. So I would keep him, in my opinion, even if we do get in another midfielder.
No, I agree. I mean, Curtis Jones, I think, is a talented lad. He's a talented lad, but the problem with Curtis Jones is, he 21 now, I believe? And when you're that age, you need to play games. That's the way you mature and get better. Now, he's played 74 games at Liverpool, 8 goals, 9 assists since he came through the academy. Ain't too shabby. It's not bad. It's not too shabby considering he's 21 years of age. You know, he broke through, over a year ago now. I like Curtis Jones. Yes, there's parts of his game that need improving, but the man's 21. I think we all think about Curtis Jones as a 28-year-old footballer who's in his prime and not a kid that is still learning his game. I think we give Curtis a bit of time sometimes.
But to be fair, to some people, they've been saying we aren't at that point where we can rely on a 21-year-old, and if he's not going to get opportunities, might as well take him out on loan, because if he's not going to play for us and he's not going to be that great in certain games, it will be a hindrance not only for Liverpool but also for himself as a player, in my opinion. So I still think he will have a say in this team. I still think he'll play minimum 15 games next season.
Yeah, totally.
Bare minimum. But yeah, I believe he still have a say in this team, in my opinion.
Exactly. I just want to shout out Klopp Talk TV. Big up the Klopp Talk TV. Yeah, mate, it was good seeing you the other day, and you're welcome on this channel. You ever want to come on, mate, like Ram is now, whenever you want to come on, let me know, my friend. You're more than welcome. Demo, my man, how you doing, Demo? CJ knocked out Neverton as captain with Carlo, and also knocked out Ajax in Champions League as well. CJ is the truth. We all know Demo. Demo loves a bit of Curtis Jones. And I'm saying, I'm a Curtis Jones fan. He's a good footballer. But like I know Jurgen Klopp, he doesn't like young players not playing games, does he? He likes them out, developing, playing games. So that's my only worry for Curtis and Harvey Elliott. When I look at both of them, I know a lot of fans will say there's not a lot of difference between Curtis and Harvey Elliott. But for Jurgen Klopp, I think he prefers Harvey Elliott more. What do you say, man?
I agree. I think Harvey Elliott, in terms of technical ability on the ball, I think he's just that little bit better than Curtis Jones.
Yeah.
The problem with Curtis Jones is that he's a 10 built as an 8.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been playing 10 his whole career. He's been very good as a 10, very skillful on the ball, and can play a ball, play a couple of good through balls into the striker. But the way our system is panned out, you have to do everything that is of expected of a centre midfielder. Literally be like Steven Gerrard. Be defensively very good, and offensively you have to be potent at times as well. I think with Harvey, he's so good going forward that defensively, even though he's not as good as compared to Curtis Jones, he can still affect games better than Curtis Jones going forward. So, in my opinion, I feel like Curtis Jones needs to sort of find his way as a footballer, whether he could be almost like a Steven Gerrard, being able to play in multiple positions and having the skill facets to be a dominant midfielder, or whether he has to tell Klopp, look, Jurgen, I think as an 8, I could do a job, but if you want to see me at my potent best, I need to be playing behind a striker. And with Darwin Nunez coming, it might have a say on that. But I think for me, he needs to find his way as a footballer, in my opinion.
No, I agree. It's great. I think yeah, of course, says it right here. Pete Jones has never been allowed to play his natural game. He's a very skillful, almost number 10. Watched him his whole career, clocking in loads of defensive duties. That's like you're saying about midfield, like Ram. Our midfield, the way Klopp likes to play, you haven't really got a player who can play a free role in it, have you? You have got, they're all players that have to be switched on defensively, switched on in the attack, and, have to be that grafter, hard-working sort of midfielder at the same time. And you look at Gini Wijnaldum, look at the difference when he was at Newcastle, when he was playing for his national team. He's more up the pitch, he's more towards goal, he's almost at 10, shadow striker at sort of times with Wijnaldum. But Klopp didn't limit what he was doing. He wanted him to play a certain kind of way in his midfield. You see that with Naby Keita. Naby Keita at the beginning of the season sort of became like that Genie replacement. It's like Klopp took him and went, right, you're going to be Genie now, and you're going to do what Genie did. And that's something that don't work for these sort of players. Do you agree, Ram?
100%. I think when it comes to Genie, I'll say this about Dutch football: they have a knack of making players incredibly versatile. You got your Frankie De Jongs who could play DM, centre mid, cam, if you wanted him to. The only problem player I wouldn't say that's probably Donny van der Beek. But he has proven that he can play in a sort of double pivot kind of thing. And when it comes to Genie used to play as a winger. He used to play as a shadow striker. He used to play as a number 10. He plays as a centre midfielder, sometimes as a DM for us at times. So Dutch football has this knack of making versatile players. And Naby's been basically playing German football his whole career. He went to Austria, played with Salzburg, then went to Leipzig. He didn't have that same tutelage as Wijnaldum did. So having him to step into what Genie did, it was a little bit difficult for him. He still at times was very potent, but I think with the Klopp system, it does hinder a lot of our midfielders' creativity and their strongest assets as well. in my opinion.
No, I agree. It's maybe one of the. It's hard to say to Klopp though that what he's doing is wrong at the same time. You know what I mean? It's hard to say like Jurgen, like let's get a bit more creative in midfield because we have been successful, but I think Jurgen himself might be looking at a bit more creativity in midfield now. I think that's just where we lack. And like you got Thiago, I don't know about you, Ram, but I'd like to see Thiago try and play a little bit further forward in the midfield because Thiago is not the quickest. We all know that. And when he loses the ball, you can run past Thiago. You can get past him, and he's late with the fouls and things like that because of his pace. Yes, he does tactical fouls as well, which I like about Thiago. He likes to slow the game down the opposition when they counter attack, and I love that about him. But I look at Thiago's ability on the ball. Apart from Trent, he's probably our best passer of the ball. I mean, you can arguably say he's our best passer of football. If you get him further forward towards the opposition's goal, he can strike a ball really well. He's capable of scoring goals from range, and also he can be that link man against low blocks where you get him up higher in the pitch. He can find them players that no one else in our team can do. Ram, you reckon about that, mate?
You're almost asking him to play the Fabregas role when he's at Arsenal.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
I think for me, Thiago just people forget Thiago defensively is very, very good. His reading of the game is incredible. But again, I've seen Thiago play in a double pivot with Goretzka or Kimmich, and he looked absolutely fantastic when he was there. He was so dominant, and to be honest, I think I'd rather have someone like Thiago playing a lot deeper because we will have a majority of the balls against most teams. Having him just spraying balls in such a deep position and having someone who's a little bit more mobile in the 10 and that can press alongside Darwin Nunez if we do play a 4-2-3-1, I think that would be very good for us, in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see what Klopp's going to do. But I'm completely happy with Thiago playing where he is, and having the odd venture forward if he thinks it's right to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the talent of Thiago though. He's just a super talented player. I think I remember someone last season. I think it was one of the sporting directors at Bayern Munich said that Bayern have not been as good defensively since Thiago left. And then when I look at Liverpool, we don't look as good defensively when Thiago ain't in the team at the same time. And I think that says a lot about the player and about his ability off the ball as much as on the ball. I think we always look at players' abilities on the ball a lot, what they can do on the ball, their technique, their skill, their ability with a pass, a shot, things like that. What I think goes a lot unnoticed in football these days is the player's ability off the ball. I think I'll take Henderson as that. Look at Hendo. Right, Hendo's technique is not that of an outstanding world-class midfielder, but Hendo has played at a world-class level for the last 3 years. People might not like that, but it's true. He's played at a world-class level, but he's not a world-class technical footballer. But what Hendo does off the ball goes completely unnoticed. Hendo is the reason Trent is allowed to get forward because Hendo gets into them spaces. And when you've got Fabinho and Thiago playing with them, it shows why we have more control of game, why we're better defensively, why we can counter press and counter attack better, because them players there are so good defensively and switched on and so good going forward at the same time. That's why in the big games, Jurgen Klopp will always go Klopp, Fabinho and Hendo Ram.
It's true. That's true. It's just what you get with Hendo and certain players is just that you know what you're going to get. With certain other players like Naby, you could get AFCON Naby, as Satan likes to say, just someone who could just dominate midfields. But also you can get the shocking Naby, where he's just absolutely a passenger in games and get ghosted past and doesn't have a real impact in a game compared to other players. So I think people get sidetracked by the incredible games, and don't forget how consistency is also the most important thing in football. And when you get people like Henderson and even Thiago, when it comes to defensive capabilities, they're completely consistent. They do not the facets that they have, they do not allow teams to break us down as easily in that midfield when it comes to defensive transitions. So that is a fair point to say. It is.
I mean, yeah, off the ball, it's just so good. Sorry, Dad's just sent me a picture, and it's a beautiful picture. It's the AC Milan team, and it's got Cafu, Pirlo, Seedorf, Inzaghi, Kaka, and Gattuso in it. It's just ridiculous.
That team was mad, man.
So, Rand, I literally just saw your tweet about adding you. I apologise for that, moment. I've only just seen it.
It's all good, man.
I'll throw it all in after. And, put your description in for. I'll put the link in for you so everyone can follow you as well. After
Bless, man, bless.
Channel. So yeah, I've just got City's team up for this season, coming season as well, so we can do a little like comparison. Because let's face it, these are the two best teams in the country by quite some way.
Yeah.
So let's do a little comparison here, because I did a squad comparison round. I don't know if you ever saw it. I did a squad comparison a few months ago on my channel, because I was adamant. For me, last season, this is last season, I think Liverpool had an all-round better squad than Man City last season. I was quite adamant about it. I said the only area I think City were better than us is midfield. So let's have a look at City's team. So City's goalkeeper situation: Ederson, Stefan, Scott Carson. Now Scott Carson just signed a new contract, by the way.
Yeah, almost like the Adrian role. So
yeah, and he's 36. Although he looks a lot older. He's 36.
At least they got a Champions League winner in their team, Jamie. At least they got that.
Exactly. But how old was he then? He must be 20, mustn't he?
He's 20, 21. He was a kid.
Now, Zach Steffen, he's 27 years of age. Came from Columbus Crew for 7 million. I don't think he's better than Kelleher.
No, he's not. He's nowhere near Kelleher. Kelleher's a very solid goalkeeper.
Yeah, exactly. And Ederson, I don't think he's a better goalkeeper than Alisson. And that's not even biasness. I just don't think he is. I think Ederson makes a lot of mistakes.
Only distribution, he's probably better than Alisson at.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, only. But everything else, for me.
He's not a better goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Right, let's get their defenders. It's quite close to me in the defenders. So they got Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Ake, Zinchenko. Oh, by the way, I watched him for Ukraine the last couple of games. Diamond of a midfielder. Should be in that midfield role. But he plays left back for City. Laporte, a certain Benjamin we won't name. João Cancelo, and then Egan Riley. So comparing their defensive options to ours, Rams, how do you think it matches up?
I think we have the better all round. You're talking about depth in both positions. If you talk about left back, they got Cancelo and Zinchenko. We've got Robertson and Tsimikas, who I think they're both at more or less the same level. If not, City've just got that little bit of an edge, but it's only by like a millimetre.
Yeah.
You're going off centre-backs, Ruben Diaz, Laporta, Ake, Stones as the main four. Compared to Matip, Van Dijk, Gomez, and Konate, I think personally, I think we have just about the better centre backs.
Yeah.
And then right backs is Trent and Kyle Walker, and I don't know who their backup right back is.
I don't think they got one.
A bit like us, we don't really have a backup right back. If you're saying Nico, but I think Nico is going to go this summer.
Well, it's got Calvin Ramsey, isn't it?
Calvin Ramsey. So I think for me overall, I think defensively we have just about the better.
Stronger.
Yeah. And it's also very young as well. It can last a lot longer as well compared to City's.
Like if I look at City's ages, so Kyle Walker's 32. Yep. He has 25, so he's a young guy. Stones is 28. Ake's 27. Zinchenko's 25. I mean, with Zinchenko, he's a midfielder, ain't he? He's just playing at left back.
Yeah, he's played midfield his whole career. Yeah. He
looked great again for Ukraine as well. Yeah, them 2 games recently as well.
Mm-hmm.
Laporte's 28. Who I don't think is as good as he once was. I really don't. And Cancelo's 28. I'm not going to mention the other left back because I don't think he should deserve airtime personally. So when I look at that, I think Ruben Diaz is their best defender. When Liverpool got Virgil van Dijk, so straight away it's better. It's just you got the best centre back. You got the best centre back in world football. So you got him. You got Matip. I mean, Van Dijk and Matip were arguably the best centre back combination in the league last season. The best.
Do you know who challenged that?
Go for it.
Van Dijk and Konate.
Yeah, that's the only challenge within themselves.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Ram, I think that will be the centre back partnership next season.
Really?
I think Konate and Van Dijk come in next. I think that's going to be the partnership next season.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I think I just look at Konate. I mean, I just look at Konate, Ram, and I'm like, every time I watch him play, I want to watch him play again.
Yeah.
It's getting like that for me. He was a beast in the Champions League.
He's a cheat. Jamie, he's a cheat code. I swear to God, he is a cheat code. He's got the physicality, he's got the height, he's got the strength, he's got the pace. Just add a little bit more defensive experience, you got yourself the most complete centre back.
He could be Van Dijk in 5 years if he wants to.
He could. I know this is going to be a bit of a big shout. He could be on the same. He could be in terms of French centre backs. He could be with the likes of Desailly.
Yeah, very similar build as well. So
yeah, maybe just a little bit bigger.
Yeah, Desailly weren't slow either. If people remember, he could move. Desailly could move. I know everyone remembers at Chelsea. That was sort of at the end of his. Go back to his AC Milan days. Jesus Christ, he was serious. Midfield. So I think this is where City have. I think they probably beat everyone in Europe. To be fair, with their midfield area, But saying that, the squad depth in midfield is not as good as you might think. So they got Gundogan, obviously, Jack Grealish, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden. And then after that is Tommy Doyle, Cole Palmer, and James McAtee. So their midfield options are fantastic. The weird thing is, though, I'd say Gundogan, Rodri, and Kevin De Bruyne are probably the three real midfielders, though, in that team. Isn't
Gundogan leaving?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. He's 31 at this moment in time, Gundogan, but he was underplayed last season for me.
I think he's incredibly underrated as a footballer.
Tremendous footballer.
People rate him now, but when you saw him at Dortmund, he was incredible. He was so good.
I'll share some stuff about him. Absolutely loved him. So from a midfield point of view, I think City do have the advantage, but I think they have the advantage over quite a lot of teams. Yeah, Gundogan's contract ends in 2023, so next season.
Next season, okay.
Yeah, so this is his last season if he don't sign a new contract.
Okay.
Yeah. Grealish is 2027, Rodri 25, Silva and De Bruyne 25. Yeah, they got their midfield locked down for a while yet. And then their forward areas. So Raheem Sterling, who unbelievably is only 27. Seems like he's been around absolutely forever. His contract runs out next season as well, 2023. Gabriel Jesus, who looks like he's going. His contract runs out in 2023.
Yeah.
Riyad Mahrez, whose contract runs out in 2023. And he's 31, Mahrez. I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
So them three players right there, contracts all end next season. Do you think all three of them will be at Man City at the beginning of the season?
I'm not sure, People have a go at us for our contracts, and then they look at Cities, and you're like, "Oh,
yeah." I've just reeled off three very good forwards that all finished their contracts.
3 starters as well, Jamie. 3 starters. Exactly. Especially when you think about their ages, I think quite a few of them will be going. The only person that I might see staying, maybe, is probably Raheem Sterling. But even then, I'm not 100% sure. It could be a case of all of them going, and they have to do a massive rebuild of their entire attack, which is the start with obviously Haaland going there first. So, yeah, I don't really see all of them staying, given the ages and given how City operate, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a mad one. I did not realise they had 3 quality attackers all out of contract next season. And no one says anything. No, like you're saying, Sterling is still a very good footballer. Gabriel Jesus will score goals. Ryan Mahrez, I know City fans love Mahrez, absolutely love Mahrez. So, it's quite a shock that they all might not be going. They all might be going.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 options in their attack are obviously the 2 new boys, Haaland and Julian Alvarez.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They've got replacements, so-called replacements there. So they can easily say we're sorted for the future in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, could you see, I don't know, Jack Grealish taking Mahrez's spot, or
maybe Sterling's spot?
Taking Sterling's spot on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Going forward. Although, I don't know if Pep's quite happy with him. I always say they bought the wrong player. I think they should have bought James Maddison instead of Jack Grealish. I always think they bought the wrong player. I think I've always rated Maddison over Jack Grealish. I think Maddison's
I think Maddison will be a little bit too direct for Pep.
Yeah, maybe. Pep like that tricky winger, don't he, that can get to the byline and do stuff.
Yeah. But that's a shout, though. I mean, Maddison. I mean, it depends on how you see it as a footballer, whether they're direct or take shots from long range and play very good through balls, or those that just take out two defenders and then plays a quick ball into the box for an easy assist.
Yeah.
But I think I'll probably see Jack Grealish playing in Sterling's position on the left wing. But they do need to reinforce their midfield, which I think they're planning on doing, in my opinion.
I wouldn't be surprised if they nick De Jong from Man United. I really wouldn't be.
If that happens, then it's game over. Frankie
tremendous footballer.
Frankie plays in the Ajax system, playing under Pep, who plays a similar mold. Oh my God, that is.
It'd be Rodri, De Jong, and De Bruyne.
Oh my goodness.
That's just disgusting.
That is just pure class. Pure class in that midfield. Oh my goodness.
I mean, City's midfield is the best in Europe. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I mean, Madrid are going to counter it. I mean, Camavinga, Tuchemeni, Valverde. I mean, that midfield could.
And I've also been hearing reports that they want to try and get Bellingham.
Yeah, apparently they do. Apparently, well, the rumours are with Bellingham, apparently, at this moment in time, is that if Borussia Dortmund are open to letting Bellingham go this summer, if they get between 70 and 80 million for him.
I think we might pay. We could be paying a premium on him, like we did with Keita.
Yeah. We can't let him go to Madrid. Like it's very obvious that when Paul Joyce came out with that tweet the other day, that the midfielder we're looking at is Jude Bellingham. We're trying to do a Van Dijk when the only defender we wanted at the time was Virgil van Dijk, so it's pointless buying anyone else. But they want Jude Bellingham. But I said this on my channel yesterday. The problem with doing that is that I still think we need another midfielder anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So with the centre-back scenario, I understand, get Virgil in. You've got Matip there as well at the time. So as soon as you've got Virgil in, pairing him with Matip, it completely changes your back line. Completely changes it. But with the midfield, I don't think a Bellingham coming in right now with what we got as well completely changes everything in our midfield.
That's what I'm saying. We
still need another one.
I think Liverpool fans are a little bit, because Bellingham is one of a kind midfield. You could argue say he's a generational talent.
Yeah.
In midfield, one of the big three, if you so to say, with obviously Camavinga and Tchouaméni, in terms of box to box midfielders. But I don't know why people think that when we get Bellingham, we're all done. Like,
oh no, it's a young lad.
Exactly. We still need a body there, just in case because remember, when it comes to Bellingham, this will be the first time he's playing in the Premier League, and he's been so accustomed to German football, may need another 3 months like Fabinho did. After that, who do we rely on? because I think Keita may be going next season, and all we're left with is Fabinho, Thiago, a 33-year-old Jordan Henderson, and Elliott and Jones. I'm really seriously lacking experience, quality experience as well. So yeah, I don't understand why people think, we get Bellingham, we're sorted. Yeah, we may be sorted for the future, but not now. Not now.
I don't think having Bellingham now and just having Jude Bellingham on his own and not having him right now at the same time does any sort of difference for us going next season. So I just still think you need that. You need that other midfielder. We need the Genie Wijnaldum thing. I weren't a big Genie fan, particular, but he was very reliable. He had legs in midfield. He'd play all the time. I don't think we miss Genie, the footballer, as much like this season. I don't think we missed the footballer as such. I don't think Genie would have made much difference to what happened this season. I don't think he would have made much difference. But we just need that reliability and professionalism in our midfield that's always there, and they're at such a level as well. There's no point just getting a midfielder that's always reliable if they're not at a level. You need that same level. You need a high-level caliber midfielder that comes into this team and also stays fit and is reliable at the same time. Choices out there, not a lot. That's the problem.
I've got a question, Jamie. Yeah. There's been news circling out, and I don't know if you remember last season I was crying for this midfielder to come in. But apparently Bayern Munich are willing to let Marcel Sabitzer leave for 15 million euros.
And you just got him.
That's the thing. I'm surprised. And Bayern Munich fans, apparently a lot I've seen on the socials, they don't want him to go. They're like, he hasn't had an opportunity, while certain other midfielders in their team have had opportunities and still been dog crap. So what are your thoughts? Because he can also play on that right wing position, which we're crying out for extra bodies to be there for Mo Salah. So what do you think of that potential signing?
I like this a bit. So he's Austrian national, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player. I've always liked him. I think he could do a job. He's got legs. He's got technique. He likes having a long shot. He can play them. He doesn't admire his pass. He's one of them midfielders who passes and moves at the same time. And he will work defensively well in the team as well. And if it's only 15 mil, this is the thing. I think Liverpool might get a midfielder in this summer still. And I think it might be someone like him, someone we're not actually everyone's looking at. I think it's going to be a midfielder in between that sort of price range, 15 to 35 million, that sort of price range that we're going to get. I would look at him. Do
you know what the problem is, Jamie? Do you know what the problem is? He's on 195k a week, pounds.
He's going to want to go up in weight.
If he's willing to take a pay cut, I'll happily speak to him.
I mean, if he comes in on like 180, 170, that would be
too much.
I mean, yeah, it's still too much, ain't it? This is the thing.
120 maybe.
I mean, if he's only worth transfer value 15 million, you can't then be giving him 190 grand a week at 15 million. That sort of don't.
Yeah.
That sort of don't make sense if you're looking at it as a financial point of view. You know, you're getting a 15 million pound transfer in. Most 15 million pound transfers will be like, 80, 90 grand a week. Is that the price?
Exactly.
I mean, look at Darwin Nunez. We just spent 85 million. Well, 64 million pound on him. Sorry, rivals, it's 64 million pounds. I don't get what you say. The add-ons ain't counted yet. And he's on 115, 130 grand a week, which after tax is about 98 grand a week. So there's no way you can get him in and then get Sabitzer in and then put him on 109. That wouldn't make no financial sense whatsoever. Absolutely none. I know the club that I've got a show tonight about midfielders as well. I'm doing a show at 10 p.m. tonight about midfielders we go get. And I know the club are looking at players like Sangara from PSV. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't want him, and I can understand it. The man's slow. His turning circle is 2 years. I mean, it's just he is slow. He's like Fabinho in a way. He hasn't got that athleticism and pace, but He's a destroyer in midfield. He's a complete and utter destroyer in midfield. And the players we have been linked with in the media that I have seen, I don't know whether you noticed this, Ram, or not, but all the midfielders we seem to be sort of viewed at, apart from Bellingham, are all defensive-kinded midfielders. We're looking at Sangara. We were looking at Calvin Phillips. We were looking at Tuchemeni. That bid was serious. And he can play the 6 and 8. So do you think Klopp might be looking at more of that defensive kind of midfielder to help out Fabinho?
Possibly. It is a possibility. But the problem is, right, I feel like Henderson can be that cover.
Yeah, I like him.
Henderson, as a 6 last season, was very good. Most of his best performances were at the number 6 position. So when it comes to having to buy a 6 or an 8, I'm not too sure. I'm more or less inclined to buy an 8 more than a person that is defensively a lot better than they are going forward. But maybe it could be a smokescreen it could be a smokescreen in buying what we are going to get. So we'll see. But for me, if I had the choice, it'll probably be more a more box-to-box, attacking-minded box-to-box player rather than a defensive one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what we need now. I think we just need that number right there. We just need to clone Steven Gerrard. I've said this many times.
Literally.
Just clone a 25-year-old Stevie and we're ready. We're gone.
Just imagine Trent and Stevie on that right-hand side. It's
done. It's over.
If people talk about Haaland, it will be done. It's done. Our squad's complete.
Kevin De Bruyne is the most Gerrard-like footballer I've ever seen as well. He's the only one. He's so similar. I think Kevin De Bruyne says even he models his game on Stevie as well, because you can tell he runs the same, he moves the same. He's
not. One thing I'd say, he's not defensively better. No, I think defensively he's not.
Stevie was defensively great.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie was absolutely. I mean, that's all remembering coming on at right back in Champions League final, and Serginho didn't get a kick.
Yeah.
The man's. I think he actually started his career as a kid at right back as well, didn't he?
Yeah, Houllier wanted a wide player. They said something about Steven Gerrard, but he was a centre midfielder, and he was like, you know what he could do as a wide player. And then he was basically shifted as a right back just to cover for injuries. Yeah. And he did quite well, to be honest. But then he moved to centre of the park, and the rest is history.
I mean, didn't he play right midfield for one season? Got 20 goals. I mean, he just.
Yeah, it was that FA Cup season.
He just, and then when he played behind Torres as that shadow striker, it was arguably. I've said this for ages now. When in that season when Gerrard played behind Torres, he was arguably the best footballer in the world at that time. Yeah,
because he also had a lot of defensive responsibilities. He would always drop deeper to be in that midfield three, and then sometimes go like he did. He was like Lampard, but arguably had a better season. Had better season in terms of he didn't play with a guy that was like very selfless in Drogba, who would sacrifice his game for him. He actually had to play with a striker that wanted goals himself, which is Fernando Torres. His in-cup play wasn't that great. It was decent. It was still very good, but Torres wasn't Drogba. Nowhere near Drogba's level in terms of being that selfless player, that target man, in my opinion. But, yeah.
I mean, you asked Fernando Torres as well. I've seen Fernando Torres picking his best 11 he's ever played with. And he said Stevie's the best player he's ever played with. And he played with Xavi and Iniesta for Spain. So, I mean, I think that tells... But with Stevie, anyone who's played with him always says best player ever played with. Or he gets in their team 11 with, legends and stuff like that. So,
and don't forget, Fernando Torres thought he would go to Chelsea because of Frank Lampard being quite similar to Steven Gerrard. And he realised, no, he's not. He's not.
Frank was more of a selfish player than Gerrard was. Stevie was. I think Lampard was a fantastic footballer, but I think Stevie's all-round game was better than Lampard's. Lampard couldn't do the defending part of what Stevie could do. He was a better defender as well. So of course, has put breaking news. I've just seen this on another channel on Twitter as well. La Liga have filed a complaint against Man City and PSG for continuing to breach financial fair play rules. I've seen this on Twitter as well, Ram. Apparently it's real.
Look, we've been here before and we saw what happened. And nothing else is going to happen again, in my opinion.
We know they cheat. It's like Savage said yesterday on the show yesterday. So the remodelling at the Bernabeu, the company that do it is the company owned by Sheikh Mansour. I mean,
exactly.
It's madness. Yeah, look, we all know there's sports washing. We all know they cheat. You know, but they're so rich. There's nothing no one can do about it. You know, yes, City should have been banned. We know this. City should have had a 2-year Champions League ban, and possibly because of that, the Premier League would have then taken their Premier League title.
They were caught. They got caught, but because the evidence was
late,
illegally and immorally taken,
yeah,
they got away with it.
No words, they hacked their computer and got all the evidence.
Yeah, literally.
Savage says here, he says, well, wild shout about Fernando Silva's Man City's best player there. I've said it. Tell you what, you ain't far off, my friend.
Yeah, he's a talented player.
I don't like the man himself, but my God, he's a good
he's a mug.
Yeah,
honestly, he's a mug.
But he's a very, very good footballer. A very good footballer. Yeah, vegan sausage rolls. Okay, meat is murder. Right, man. Like, that's up to you, man. You know, go for it. I'm a meat man. 2 DMs, double pivot, maybe. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talk that Liverpool go play 4-2-3-1 next season, and I think the talk just came because we got a number 9 in. But Klopp likes 4-3-3, and I don't think he's going to change from 4-3-3, to be perfectly honest. But with Darwin Nunez there, you've got the option to change things up now in games where we didn't before. I mean, we can even go 4-4-2 in games. You can play Jota and Darwin as a 2 up top. You know, you can play Diaz on the left-hand side, Salah on the right, 2 midfielders, 2 defensive midfielders in the middle. You can mix it up a little bit next season because we have a number 9 up top now. And I mean, we haven't had a number 9 in the Klopp era, really, that Klopp wanted to play. We all love Divock Origi. There's not a Liverpool fan here who don't love Divock Origi. But at the same time, Jurgen Klopp might have loved him, but he didn't rate him. Because if he rated him, he would have played him. It's as simple as that. But this going into this season, under Jurgen Klopp, for us, really, is the first proper season we're going to play more or less an actual number 9 up top. So do you think it changes the dimensions we play next season? Or do you think we continue with the same format, Ram? Or do you reckon Klopp might, change things here and there? Or does it give us a plan B where we can change formations, having a number 9 up top next season?
I think a bit of both, really. I think him being there as sort of like the Divock replacement as the target man, but obviously a little bit better than Divock. I mean, a little bit better than Divock. It just makes things a little bit more interesting for other teams because certain teams will be like, oh, it's Divock Origi. He won't do much. And sometimes that will be the case. But when it comes to Darwin Nunez, it'll be like, oh, is this guy coming on? This guy who's got a lot of hype around him and people know how good he is. It'll just give that little bit of a different moment or different mindset to those centre backs, in my opinion. And I don't think we'll change formations, but maybe when the second cycle of players coming through, the second cycle of Liverpool Football Club under Klopp, maybe we might transition to a 4-2-3-1, but not yet, not just yet. And maybe in a year or two's time we might see it happen, but not now.
Yeah, I think it's a thing in progress, saying it with Liverpool. I think we're looking at the future now, what's going to happen. We've got young players in, like Trent's only 24, Konate's only 23, 24. Diaz and Jota are 25. Calvin Ramsey's a kid. Elliott's a kid. Curtis Jones is 21. This team is Klopp's mold. That's why Klopp signed 4 years. He can see something happening with this team, and he sees it moving forward in the years to come. And I think Klopp does want to freshen it up. Now, I don't think people worked out, per se, how to play against Liverpool. I think everyone knows how to play against Liverpool. The problem is you can't stop it. That's the problem. So I know how Man City play. I worked out how Man City play as a fan. But, you just can't stop it. There's a difference. But I think some teams are starting to find out, especially towards the end of the season, how to actually stop it. And you heard Carlo Ancelotti talk after the Champions League final about this. And now I think that's where Klopp think, you know what, we need to change this up a little bit in the forward areas, maybe, to become a little bit less predictable. Everyone knows how we go to play, but can they stop it? And I think that's the question next season, man. I don't know what you think.
Yeah. I think when it comes to Klopp and Pep system, it's just because those two systems are just a winning system. They're just very... Is almost like a perfect system of how to win a football match because it's been around for so long. But stopping it and stopping the sort of like versatility of each system is a bit easier said than done. Playing like park the bus system, it doesn't really say anything about this is how you beat them. This is like a blueprint of how you can stop them, but is not the definitive answer because there are still ways of beating that park the bus system. Like as we've shown this season, because at times when we did play park the bus, we had annihilated teams, in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I got to say on that, man.
No, I agree. So Jared says Barcelona and Real Madrid are the reason wages are so exorbitant for players. They started it, but now they can't match the financial might of City and PSG, and they're crying to their daddy UEFA. You're so right. You're so right. It is so true. All them years and years back, everyone lost their best players to Barcelona and Real Madrid because they offered more money. And now, the English teams have caught up, especially the likes of City and PSG, and Barcelona and Real Madrid can't match them no more. And they're crying to daddy. You're right. It's true. Look at the Super League. The reason the Super League was a thing that came up is because the likes of the Spanish giants can't compete with English teams. They just can't. Look at players that are coming from Europe now to mid-table Premier League teams. Look at the two players that Villa have bought. Now, I don't think they're that great personally, but they've gone to Aston Villa from quite big European sides, and they've come to mid-table Villa teams. The power of the Premier League, man, it's just massive, ain't it? It's just huge now.
Yeah, I think it's because of the money that the Premier League generates through viewership across the world. It's just so much money. And people forget all these small teams are now having a lot of money, so they have no reason to sell any of their players to the bigger sides, unless obviously they get relegated. But I think it is a case of La Liga trying to find ways of stopping likes of Manchester City and PSG to spend money. But even though they kind of did the same thing 10 or so years ago at its peak. Yeah, exactly. So what goes around comes around, as the good old saying goes. But yeah.
Definitely agree. Definitely agree. Yeah, Real Madrid are just give it a taste their own medicine. They don't like it. Is Haaland's injury record that bad? Keep seeing it going round. I think he missed 180 days of injury with Dortmund, if I'm correct. Is that right, Rad? Something like that?
Yeah, he last season had a pretty bad injury, and he's almost in his whole career, like it's a very short career as well. He's missed around about 365 days of a year's worth of days through injury, which is mad to say the least.
That's madness. I think what it is with Haaland, he's a big bloke. He's 6'4", he's about 6'4", and he's thick as well. He's stocky. He's not skinny. And when you're carrying that body around and he's quick, it takes a lot for oxygen to get around your muscles, around your blood, to get it all into the muscles and stuff like that. So it's a bit like Shaqiri. Shaqiri kept getting muscle injuries because he was short but extremely stocky and very muscular. And because he was like that stature, the oxygen, it takes a lot for the oxygen to get into the blood and pump into their muscles. And that's why he kept getting muscle injuries a lot.
Yeah.
And I think the same is with Haaland. I think that's why he gets a lot of injuries like that. And Yeah, I mean, the thing with Haaland though, the man's he's just a supreme finisher. He's the next. He's not R9. I've seen that comparison. People keep calling him the next R9. He's not R9, by the way, guys. R9 was doing this at 16. R9 was different. But their physiques are quite similar. And R9, when he got Ronaldo, original Ronaldo, when he got them injuries, it was very hard for him to shift it. Like, he had them bad knee injuries, didn't he? And then he came back and he always got little injuries again on top because of his body structure, because of the way he's built, because he's so quick. And I've got to say, that's the only thing I think with Haaland you have to watch out for, in my opinion.
Remember Kaka?
Yeah, Kaka was the same.
Because Kaka was 6'1", but so incredibly quick for a guy that was of his height and stature.
Yeah.
And he kept on getting ankle injuries
all the time.
So
all the time. It's sort of like, I mean, he obviously had a very good career, but his career didn't go, I think, stretch as long as it could have because of injury problems. Yeah, because I see a lot of City fans bring up Nunez's injury record, but sort of don't bring up Haaland's. I find it. Ram, what do you think of this City fans though? I see City fans all over social media. All they're talking about is Liverpool. Liverpool this, Liverpool that. You're wasting money on Nunez. You can't compete. They've just won the Premier League and got Haaland in. If that was us, would we be talking about any other club right now?
Remember when we signed Thiago?
Yeah.
And we won the Premier League?
Yeah.
Did we talk about City?
No, didn't give a crap about them.
Or did we talk about how we're Premier League champions and we signed arguably one of the greatest midfielders of our generation?
Yeah, exactly.
It's as simple as that. City, I don't know. It's just like, they have this concept of like, they have, I think it's because they haven't won a Champions League, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I really think. I say this before, yeah. I say this on Twitter, on the terrace. Jamie, are you a fan of tennis?
I do like tennis, yeah.
Do you remember the Agassi versus Andy Roddick rivalry?
I do.
This is it. Because Agassi won every single trophy that was available to him, like we did. Roddick won majority of the trophies and won stacks on stacks of each trophy, but never won the French Open title.
That's correct.
So that's the same thing with City, because they didn't win the Champions League, but they've won a lot of Premier Leagues, League Cups, and a couple of FA Cups. So it's like that. We literally need to Nadal. We need to do a Nadal and just win, double everything up, just win more trophies. Easier said than done, but
oh yeah, I mean, City. Look, we City fans, I don't get so because they don't want a rivalry with Liverpool. They think we're beneath them and stuff like that. But all they do is talk about us all the time. I don't give with City. I give City all their respect in the world. They're a tremendous club. For me, they're probably the best team in Europe, Man City. Pep Guardiola is probably the greatest coach of his lifetime. Not all-round manager. All-round manager, I think Klopp has an edge. But coaching-wise, and what he does, I mean, Pep must go home. Pep probably goes home after a game and still thinks about everything. Where I think Klopp, like, as soon as the game's finished, Klopp's like on the beer, talking to his wife, doing anything but football. But I don't think Pep shuts off. That's why Pep struggles to stay at clubs for so long. So I do give him that edge. I think he's a tremendous coach. But if I had all that, I had all the money, I had Pep as my manager, we won the Premier League, got Haaland in, I'd just be picking up my side. I wouldn't be worried what Liverpool Football Club are doing. So that just tells me next season they're still concerned about Liverpool Football Club, in my opinion. That's what I see. I see they're still very concerned about Liverpool Football Club. And do you know what annoys them as well, Randy? I think what annoys Man City. Man City know they're extremely wealthy, they're extremely rich, and they can spend whatever they like. They can have players sitting on the bench that don't really get game time because they got massive wages. They don't complain. Liverpool Football Club can't match that financially, but they can keep up with them. And they don't go away.
Do you know what's weird? Yeah,
I think that's what annoys them.
A lot of City fans use this. Liverpool like to talk about net spend and we won the net spend. We spend within our means, but every Liverpool fan seeing our figures and how much revenue we create, we're like, what the hell is going on with our money? What are we doing with that money? And then when we use it, they're like, oh, what happened to net spending within your means? And we're like, you lot kept on calling us broke FC, saying how we don't have money and all this stuff. And now you're crying that we're spending money within the money that we already have. And we're crying to spend. It's like it makes no sense. It really does. Like, it's just City fans trying to make a way of making themselves relevant. We are the reason why they're relevant within football. Literally.
Our rivalry at the moment is making it.
No one, because it's Liverpool. If it was Liverpool or United, we are the reasons why they're relevant. Yeah. Just how Fergie was the reason why they were relevant in 2011, 2012.
Oh, it's a great point, mate. It's a great point. I mean, I look at City as well. I look at City, and the only reason City have to get 90-odd points every season to win the Premier League is because of Liverpool. You look at the season, City won the league in the COVID year, no fans. They won the league on 80-something points, and they coasted it, didn't they? Man United are apparently their closest challengers, who finished 19 points behind. But they coasted it because Liverpool couldn't compete that year because of all the injuries, all the problems that happened to Liverpool Football Club. They couldn't compete that year. And City coasted to the league on 80-something points. Pretty easy for them. Following season, when Liverpool were back, brought some players in, got all their injury players back, and were a better team, then City have to get the 90-odd points to win the league, because if they didn't, Liverpool are going to do that and win the Premier League title. City and Liverpool need each other. I think that if you take this Man City team, right, and Pep Guardiola leaves tomorrow and they get a new manager in, I think Liverpool win the league, because I think Pep gives them that extra 10 or 20%. Yeah. And same with Klopp with Liverpool. I think they've both got tremendous squads, but you take either of them away manager-wise, you lose a little bit of something. And that's why I always say, it don't matter. Like, people say, like, we got to make sure we got a squad to go for when Klopp leaves and all that. And I said, look, you can have the best squad in the world. As soon as that sort of manager, that figurehead leaves your club, you lose 20%. I don't care about the players you got. It just, especially in the Premier League where it's so competitive, in like a Bayern Munich and all that, you know, it's a one league, you know. But Bayern Munich, you might as well give Bayern Munich the championship now because they're winning it next season. You know what I mean? It's just, it's done. You know, Dortmund can't compete. Dortmund can't compete because of the financial.
Jamie, without Klopp, Bayern Munich would have won. Bayern Munich would have won 14 league titles on their own.
Exactly. And Jurgen Klopp broke that up by winning back-to-back league titles that no one else has done unless you're Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Klopp gets the respect he deserves. I really don't. He's
you know what? Because I think after he goes finishes off at Liverpool, he's going to go to Germany and manage the German national team. In my opinion, and if he wins the World Cup, he'll be the only manager, barring Vicente Del Bosque, to win a World Cup and the Champions League and the league.
Yeah, he's Klopp. I'll tell you what, Klopp would suit international management as well because of his man management skills.
Yeah,
and and I don't think Klopp gives himself enough respect for his tactical ability either, because he always says that, don't he? I'm not a tactical coach like Pep.
I don't think he really cares, to be honest.
No, I don't think he does. I don't think he's a shit. Does he? He really doesn't. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. I just love him. I wouldn't swap him. I don't know about you, man. I wouldn't swap him for anyone. If we could swap him for Pep tomorrow, I wouldn't even do that.
Yeah. Only manager I'd say, if he was to leave, I would replace him with Hansi Flick. That's it.
Yeah. Hansi Flick is a very talented coach. Extremely talented.
Just needs to work on his English. That's all. Then he'll be sorted.
Hopefully, we never have to talk about that for a long time. Keep Klopp
fully touch wood. Yeah.
I mean, he does 4 years. If we're successful in them 4 years, I see him staying. I don't see him going. I don't see him managing another club after Liverpool. I've said it for a while now. I don't see him managing another club after Liverpool.
I think once Germany's available, I think he'll go. I think he'll go.
He's never going to manage Bayern Munich because he can't stand them. I never see him at Real Madrid because you can only be at Real Madrid 2 years and they get rid of you. Klopp likes a project, don't he? He likes being somewhere he knows he's going to be there for quite a while, 7 years at least, and build something from that. That's how he likes it. Savage. Do you remember this? Does anyone remember the Redford Rejects? I remember that TV show. Do you remember it, man? Don't know if you might be.
Not quite. I was a bit too young.
You went at
I do remember Bernard's Watch though.
Bernard's Watch, and the Queen's Nose. Yeah, Savage was on it. Yeah, yesterday me and Savage were doing a show yesterday, and it just turned into like us just laughing about crap TV shows we were watching, like Dream Team. Do you remember Dream Team on Sky One back in the day? Absolutely hilarious.
Vaguely remember. I remember Bernard's Watch though, and I used to be like, that makes no sense at all.
Watch. Yeah, we used to just stop.
It was so crap, but yeah.
Oh, but Dream Team.
Yeah,
we were talking about yesterday because there's an episode in Dream Team where they've got into the Champions League at last, and they're all boarded in the plane. They go off into somewhere in Europe, and the plane crashes, and they're never found ever again. Like, you never find them ever again, and it's like the whole cast. And in the next episode, they've just got a brand new team. It's not how it works. It's not how it works.
Like, yeah, literally.
It was just hilarious. And we were talking about like footballers' wives and things like that. It was just, oh man, that was a funny show last night. Proper funny show. Bordeaux have been relegated for financial cheating, ain't they?
I saw that.
Bordeaux have done nothing different to Barcelona, by the way. Absolutely nothing. But they're not Barcelona. That's the difference. Barcelona shouldn't be in the top league with their financial problems and the way they've done things. They should be banned. And the thing with Barcelona, they're in I think they're in £900 million worth of debt right now, but they could take out a £200 million loan from a bank, an American bank. How's that possible? How's that legal?
Don't know. It's a lot of risk.
I mean, they ain't paying that back, aren't they?
Then I don't think so. I really don't think so.
You imagine a bailiff coming knocking on the Nou Camp door. Like, we're here for the 200 grand. If you can't pay, we're going to take it away. Right, boys, come on, get in there, take all the office supplies, take everything, get it all done, take it all.
Take all their trophies and all that.
Take it all?
Take it all. It's all the bank. All the bank's property now.
That'd be brilliant. I think Haaland has the frame that often takes its toll on your knees. Pep likes to rotate, so he'll probably be in better shape than at Dortmund. Yeah, I mean, Pep will look after him better. City probably have better physios, doctors, science behind the scenes and stuff like that in a way than Borussia Dortmund can probably look after him. That is one thing I'm looking forward about. Yeah, talking about injuries and all that. One thing I am looking forward to this season is Thiago. And the reason I say that, I think this is Thiago's first real pre-season at Liverpool. Like proper pre-season.
Yeah.
Because when he arrived, it was the pandemic. You arrive in the middle of a pandemic and moving countries. No one really wants to do that.
You arrived after pre-season.
Yeah, and they weren't, because the seasons were so close, weren't they? We had like a 3-week gap, didn't we?
Yeah.
Season again. So there weren't a real pre-season there. Last summer, he went to the Euros and played, 5 minutes? And, completely pointless. So he didn't really have a proper pre-season. This summer, he's going to have a proper pre-season. And I think that could do Thiago the wonders because they did say to Joel Matip last summer. Joel Matip had a proper pre-season last summer, came into the team injury-free the whole year. I remember all of us thinking, got Joel Matip, we might, I'm a bit worried about Joel Matip. He's been picking his injuries up. Injury-free the whole season. So
even Joel was saying,
yeah.
Sorry, Jamie. Even Joel Matip was saying that he was thinking about leaving because he didn't think his body could hold up to the injuries anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And that just shows whatever they did in pre-season, whatever program they put on, the diet they put him on, they did something and it completely worked. I think Kanate helped coming in as well, where Kanate can take some of the load off You know, if Matic needs to come out. You know, Konate played a lot of Champions League football last season. You know, even played the final. So I think with Thiago, if we get him in a good pre-season, a good routine in pre-season, get him on a different diet, change him up a little bit, put him on a program maybe. And this is why I'm saying it's important to buy a midfielder. This is why I want Christian Eriksen. This is why I'm big banging on the Christian Eriksen drum, because Christian Eriksen is the most like Thiago player we could get if we brought him in. That way, Thiago wouldn't have to start a lot of games. Eriksen can play some. You can swap them out. You can look after Eriksen at the same time. Plus, we haven't really got a set-piece taker in the team, and Eriksen can be that. He's a free transfer. I know people are worried about he hasn't got the pressing game for midfield that Klopp likes and the pace we play at, but I just feel it's a free transfer. He's very Thiago-like. And with the 5 sub rule next season, I think the 5 sub rule is going to be massive, by the way, next season for every team in the Premier League. I think there'll be a lot less injuries next season with the 5 sub rule. 5 sub rule, you can start like an Eriksen for 60 minutes, then you can give Thiago 30 or the other way around. What do you reckon on that, man?
I think that is a good shout. I thought you were going to say Eriksen was the most likable player in the world, which he probably is. I think everyone loves him.
He's definitely the most likable player in the world, isn't
it? But I think again, I would agree with a lot of Liverpool fans when it comes to the pressing and the way is sort of heart condition. I'm a little worried about that. When if it is the 4-2-3-1 and it allows our 10 not to press as much and just roam around the pitch, I would be very happy with that. But it's whether we can accommodate him, and I feel like when it comes to Klopp, accommodating players might be the best solution when it comes to our system as well. Like every system has its own role, and the role has to be done at its maximum for us to get wins. So I would love Eriksen at Liverpool, not only for his quality, his likability as well, which I think that might go away when he comes to Liverpool, seeing as apparently everyone hates Liverpool Football Club. But yeah, we'll see. No,
that'd be a good. I mean, there's options out there. We need to definitely look at. That's my video tonight, looking at the options. So it should be a good one. Jamrock with a super chat. Big up, Jamrock. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Thank you very much. Liverpool are doing the correct thing by keeping wages between 58 and 62% of revenue. If revenue goes up, wages will go up, but it will be that percentage of revenue.
That's a big point. I was speaking to one of my boys, Danny Devil in the details, about the wage structure of our club, and he was like, if you keep on underpaying players, then it'll be a massive problem for you. And I was like, I wouldn't give 400k for certain players, but depending on how much revenue we make, and depending on that how good a player that is, we can make a really good wage structure. And he'll be like, we'll have to wait and see whether you can up the revenue figures that you've already produced. And bearing in mind, we're still not at that we're not past that COVID, like not recession, but like that mishap in terms of our financial status. I still think sorry?
That'll probably take a couple more seasons.
Yeah, take a couple more seasons, maybe even next season if we need to. But I still think with our revenue going up and up and up, and us being the third most financially in terms of revenue, with like third highest in the world, I still think we can go higher and higher, and that will increase our wage bill and keep our best players. So
yeah, I mean, I agree. And our commercial revenue is getting better as a club as well. That's another thing with our commercial revenue. Like Man United might not like Woodward as in charge when he was at Man United, but what Woodward did well at Man United was he was great at commercial revenue. You know, he was fantastic at it. Buying footballers, terrible. Commercial revenue, excellent. And Liverpool's commercial revenue is getting better and better now. Because that's what Liverpool want to be. They want to be a self-sustained football club eventually. Like Man United are now, because their commercial revenue is so big. That's where the money comes from to buy players and wages. And eventually, that's what Liverpool want to be. They want to be so, you know, sort of like that. The commercial revenue's got to go up. The stadium, that when the Anfield Road end's complete, I think the stadium's in 62,000 or something like that. If I remember rightly. So that's probably as big as Anfield can be. I don't think they can build any more because I know you can't build on the Kop because the council won't let planning permission be built on the Kop. So I don't think Anfield can get much bigger than 62,000 is going to be. But being 62,000 gives you much more revenue as well.
What about the Kenny Dalglish stand?
Well, the main stand, I'm not sure how much more they can build on that.
No, not the main stand.
The Kenny Dalglish bit.
The centenary stand.
Maybe. I think that might be the next one.
Also,
they're not allowed to do the Kop.
Could we, how City have like more of like a circular stadium? Could we build around the corners of the stadium?
Well, in the open parts. I have no idea. I have no idea. I just remember I saw a YouTube channel talking about this. I think it might have been Redmen. I think Redmen were talking about it, and they're the ones that know better than everyone, I think. And Redmen were talking about this. They definitely said the Kop can't be built on. It can't extend on the Kop at all because the council behind that, because it's a residential area, you're not allowed to. There's no permission there. So with the Kenny Dalglish, I'm not sure. Maybe. And then gaps in between, like fill it up, round it up a little bit. Yeah, maybe.
That'd be like a quick 15k.
Yeah. I mean, if you can have a 70,000 Anfield, could you imagine a 70,000 Anfield? That'd be mad, wouldn't it?
That will be mad. Yes, indeed.
But that's where revenue's going to come from, guys. That's where revenue's going to come from. I mean, Man City have got number one revenue in world football, which is a bit suspicious. Considering they have a tiny fan base. I think their stadium's like 52,000 and they've never won a Champions League or a European Cup. But yet they are the number one revenue side in Europe. It's not dodgy at all. Not dodgy at all, man.
I'm still bamboozled on how that is even possible, in my opinion.
It's not possible. They've got a tiny stadium. They've got a tiny fan base. They've never won a European trophy, and their stadium's 52,000, I think. I just don't know how it is.
I have nothing to say. If I speak, I'm in big trouble. If I speak, I am in big trouble.
Exactly. We'll keep that one. We'll keep that one to ourselves, guys. Is it better to own your history and not talk about other clubs? Liverpool objectives should be how can we be the best to compete and win against City? Exactly. City needs Rodri's handball to win. I mean, that is the biggest VIR mistake, I think, in the Premier League last season, Ram.
Or maybe ever.
That Rodri
I've never seen something so blatant in my life. I saw it in open motion, and it was like, I swear to God, that hit his hand. Hit his hand, and it wasn't given his handball. But again, I don't want to delve in the handball because we could say that we had certain decisions go our way.
I think every team had decisions go forward. Every team did last season, but that Rodri handball might be the most obvious mistake I think I've seen last season.
Because they even
said it was a mistake after it.
Yeah, exactly.
More insult. How can you say unconclusive evidence? That was the thing, wasn't it? There weren't enough conclusive evidence. No, it's just a ball that's touching his arm. It's the rules. It's not allowed. I mean, would they have scored that penalty? Would they not? I mean, that's the thing. But yeah, I mean, I've got to give City fans their thing though. They printed T-shirts of that off, ain't they, when they won the league?
Yeah. So
I've got to give them their banter. I mean, I like that. I do like that as banter. I would have done the same thing personally. I would have printed them shirts off as well. So I'm all for the banter. I'm all for the banter. Arsenal, Man United, and Liverpool run their clubs with big revenue they generate within their rules. That's the difference. Yeah, I mean, I know FSG have always been worried about FFP. They've always been worried about it. So that's why they try and play within the rules. I can guarantee you right now, Ram, if Liverpool did a Man City and did what they did, we would have got done for everything.
Literally.
You just know it. We would have got done for absolutely everything. Because, they think, Man City think UEFA don't like them. They got nothing.
We got done for tapping up Van Dijk.
Yeah.
Like, but literally, we did the most stupidest of things. We did the most stupidest thing. Well, literally, every club does it, but we just forgot to tell Southampton, oh, we want to go for your player. Can we speak to him?
Yeah. And we had to pay a raw because we were meant to buy Van Dijk for 55 million, weren't we?
Exactly.
We paid 20 on top as a little sorry. Yeah, that was every player.
Every team does it.
Everyone taps up.
Like literally, is something like what's it called? Us telling Wijnaldum to go and speak to Van Dijk and tell him to join Liverpool. Is that tapping up? Yeah, isn't that tapping up?
You know, for Jurgen Klopp just gave Wijnaldum a little note.
Is Paul Pogba going to France and telling Varane to move to United tapping up?
Yeah, exactly. They all
literally.
Everyone talks to each other. And Liverpool just admitted it. Got done for it. I do like the fact that we said in that summer, though, yeah, we'll never go for him again. We're really sorry, we'll never go for him again. Bang, 6 months later.
Yeah. we literally admitted to being stupid that time. We literally admitted, we were stupid.
We made a public apology, didn't we? I remember it, and then we just signed him. And look, 75 million was well spent. There's no doubt about that. There is absolutely. Do you remember when we signed him though? And Man United fans are saying, if he's worth 75 million, Chris Smalling must be worth 100 million. All this sort of stuff.
Imagine if we had got him for 55 though.
We got him for 55. That's probably the greatest Premier League signing ever.
Yeah, literally. But
I mean, it's just I say it now, though, Ram. I still say it now. I think Van Dijk is still Liverpool's best footballer, best player. I literally, him and Alisson for me, I think are the difference between us winning things and not winning things.
Agenda's got a gen. The guy in my DP right there, right here.
Alisson.
He is the best player in our team. Yeah.
I was on someone else's channel last night and a bit of an argument because I said for me probably Alisson and Courtois are the two best goalkeepers in world football at this moment in time. And and now I got told no, Alisson's probably top 5, not top 2. I was like, well, who's above him in? Like, who the hell is above Alisson? As
I think.
And then they brought out the geezer from AC Milan.
Mike Maignan.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, he's a quality keeper, but not better than Alisson. No, I think if Alisson does what I think is going to happen, which is Brazil win the World Cup, people are going to have serious conversations about this man. And I'm talking one of the greatest ever goalkeepers of all time.
He's just tremendous. I've never seen him have to make a fancy save ever because his positioning is so good. The way in terms of balls as well, no keeper holds the ball like him either.
Yeah, in terms of modern day goalkeepers, I haven't seen anyone as complete as him.
No, tremendous.
No one.
Even his distribution. Look, I know people. Did you ever see? I don't listen much to TalkSport anymore because they got taken over by Murdoch's company, so I don't really listen to much anymore. But I see clips on YouTube and Twitter all the time, and one with Michael Gray said Alisson had the worst distribution of any Premier League goalkeeper he's ever seen.
That's mad.
And then it's shocking. But apparently, he's got the best distribution leading to goals out of any goalkeeper in Europe.
Yeah. And then the FA Cup final where he does the outside of the boot long ball, and where Trent played it straight to Diaz.
Oh, that was
if that goal went in, oh my goodness.
That would have been one of the most techie goals ever.
Literally one of the greatest ever FA Cup goals of all time. Literally, just one outside football to another, and then to a solid finish. Lewis only scored that goal, man.
Yeah, I think when they look at distribution, they just look at kicking, and that's not a thing. Look how quick Alisson grabs the ball and rolls it out. That's quick distribution. That leads to goals. It's them sort of. It's not just how far he can boot it. If he can boot it 60 yards onto someone's chest like Ederson can. It's how quick-minded Alisson is. He gets the ball straight away. Yeah. Alisson's thinking, "Where's Salah? Where's Mane? Where's Trent? Let's get going. Let's get a goal."
Literally,
he leads to so many goals on the attack for us as Alisson.
His drop kicks, his long throws. Literally.
He puts our heart in our mouth sometimes, but I think I've said this many times. I think he knows what he's doing. I literally do think he knows what he's doing. But when we're watching it, we're like, Ali. And he's like, yeah, it's all right. It's all cool.
That is him. That is him in a nutshell.
He's just cool. He's just like that.
It was like when it was the Benfica game where I think it was Rafa Silva was closing him down, and then he did like a a little cross turn, and it looked like he fumbled it, and it was like no way, I meant that the whole way, I meant it. Just calm down. That is Ali.
I love Ali. For me, him and Courtois. Hang on, sorry, Ram, 1 second. You know when your daughter just asks you a question right in the middle when you're live. That's
I've seen it too many times on Coppish, man.
Oh man, yeah. The thing when you got kids. I mean, I've got a 5-year-old. I've got a 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and an 18-month-old. So it's all funny. Pep can't stand it because he knows it's all artificial at Man City. I think he does. That's why he has a go at Liverpool all the time. All the time. It's like Pep always goes, everything's red, or you have Liverpool pundits, or everyone in the media talks about Liverpool. And it's like, you do realise Liverpool's huge, yeah? It's like, Liverpool are far bigger than Man City. Look, there's not many ex-City players that they can really, these media programmes can actually...
Kanchelskis.
What's Kanchelskis doing? Who knows? You know what I mean? It's like they can't call, like, there's so many Man United and Liverpool legends because they've run English football for so long.
It's like now you're seeing a lot of United pundits now. You're seeing Rio Ferdinand, Paul Scholes, Owen Hargreaves. Like, you're seeing a lot more United pundits because they get older, they retire, then they become pundits. That's how it goes.
But the history of them two clubs is so big as well. They've got that history where they can have them pundits. With City, they haven't really got anyone yet. And I do think Pep... I'm telling you right now, if Pep was Liverpool manager, he would embrace the hell out of it. You know, you never walk alone. The atmospheres, the size of the club. You know, the just coming into a stadium with the fans cheering on the coaches as they come in.
Yeah, literally.
Nothing else like that. There's nothing else like that.
But I do miss Alan Hansen as a pundit.
He was the best.
I do miss him as a pundit.
He was. I miss Alan Hansen. Full stop. He was. I always thought he'd be Liverpool manager, but he was meant to take over Kenny, weren't he? And he didn't fancy the job. And they gave it to Graham Souness instead. Klopp will stay as long as we're successful. He loves Liverpool. It's a family. Yeah, big up Nicholas. Big up yourself. Yes, now we do what when they started out, it was exactly the same as City and PSG and others. Liverpool were in the second visitors and spending owners' money. Yeah, I get what you mean, Jared. I get what you mean, mate. The fact that actual City rival fans, United, are cheering them on says it all. Yeah, I had United fans, Ram, on my channel coming on at me singing Blue Moon. That's how bad it was.
If you remember, cast your minds back to the football terrace. There were Chelsea fans, United fans, Arsenal fans, Tottenham fans were singing, they were celebrating City winning the title. And I'm like, that's cool. You do what you want, yeah. We know that you're in your, we know that we're in your heads. We know that we're in your heads, so it's all good.
Why would you do that? That is so sad. And talking about the football terrace 1 second, I will big up whoever super chatted Terry the other day on that and said you should get Jamie Phillips on the show. Big up to whoever it was who did that.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see it? I didn't even expect it.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, yeah. Big up yourself. Big up your damn self.
I mean, I'd love to go on there. I'd love to go on there. I mean, the thing with the terrace, I like the terrace. I love what Terry does. Terry does an amazing job. He also knows what he's doing at times as well, if you know what I mean. He knows, he does know what he's doing at times, and I love the fact he does it. I like football banter as well, but there is some people on the terrace when I watch it, and obviously, Ram, you know what I mean, sure, there are a lot. I don't know how you control yourself sometimes, but there is a There is a lot of support fans on there that go on there and talk the most absolute shit I've ever heard in my life.
I hear that all the time.
I
Drifty
don't know, you
tells it to
can
me
tell
all the
yourself.
time.
I don't know,
Literally,
you can
Drifty every single time after a stream is like, "How do you deal with it?" I'm like, "Well, if you
mad.
hang around idiots, you sort of learn to just block them out, innit?"
It's mad. It's like the Arsenal fans. It's not even a gal. I actually like a gal. A gal, look, he wants to back up what he says as well. He never goes against what he says, even if it is wrong. You know, he still go. You know, I like that. Back up your talk. I don't mind that. But there's that other Arsenal fan that was on there recently, and talking the most absolute waffle, talking about how great the young sides are, saying that Arsenal have the best young team in Europe. And I was like, what are you chatting about? Your young players ain't even better than Liverpool's young players. I mean, what? Where is this young Arsenal team that everyone keeps talking about? It's the best in Europe. Where's this come from?
I was literally going to say, young team, Ramsdale, decent keeper. They've got someone, I don't know who they got at right back. We've got Trent, obviously, one of the best young players in the world. We've got Konate and Gomez, two of the best up-and-coming centre-backs. We got Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, now Fabio Carvalho coming in. And we've got Darwin Nunez right now. Our young school people are sleeping on our young team. People are sleeping on, they are absolutely solid. They are. So
I think people sleep on Palace's young team as well.
Well, I did tell a gal, I gave him some advice. Do not come for Liverpool. I advise you not to do that.
Don't.
City and Liverpool, don't come for them. Everyone else, yeah, sure, but not City and Liverpool.
The only two teams that can talk to each other are City and Liverpool. They're the only two teams that can talk to each other. It just it's like, was you on the terrace that day when they did when Arsenal? I think it was a gal actually said it, that he put they did a combined Arsenal Liverpool 11 and had Ramsdale instead of Alisson.
Yep.
And Gabriel and Ben White instead of Van Dijk and
yep.
What was that about?
I don't know. Aubameyang over Jota.
And then did we win that game 4-0?
Oh yeah, we slapped them so hard. You don't know how gassed I was. And then he was like at the terrace. He was like, "Come to we'll see if you're smiling when you come to the Emirates." And I'm like, "How can you say that?" Then a couple months later, we slapped them up again.
I don't know why they do it. I literally don't know why they do it. It's just like, look, Arsenal were a ginormous club. At the moment, they're in a bit of a mire. I respect Arsenal Football Club a lot. They're a giant of an English side. Their fan base, not so much, but that as a team. But I'm a little worried about Arsenal next season, to be fair. I think Arsenal might really struggle next season. I don't know what players they're buying, who they're looking at. They desperately need strikers.
Were we that bad? Just a quick question. Were we that bad?
No.
Like,
no, Arsenal are.
This is heading to their 5th season without Champions League football.
Yeah, you can't be that long. You cannot be that long. You're going to get left behind.
Literally.
You're going to be left behind. And I look at this Arsenal team, and I said it. I know I was like, because I've called into the terrace a couple of times at my point, but I've never gone on there as a panel or anything. I'd love to do that one day. But I just like to ask questions like why they think all this about certain teams on there, especially Arsenal fans. I'm like, I look at Arsenal right now though. They got no striker. They Eddie Nketiah condom with them 2 goals against Chelsea.
Thank you, Chelsea.
And now got $100,000 a week contract, which is madness. So he's got to be said now. They've got rid of Lacazette, who's gone back to Lyon, I believe. Yeah,
he's back at Lyon.
Saka and Martinelli, I rate highly, but I believe they're being uncoached at this moment in time. I just don't think they're getting the coaching at their age they should be getting.
I think Saka might turn into Michael Owen.
Yeah, Saka's got so much ability. I think Saka's got more better end product than Martinelli. I don't think Martinelli's got great end product, but he's a good step player.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Saka's got better end product. The problem with Saka, he can play left wing back, and left attacker. And when you're a versatile player like that, You get paid like that all the time when you're young. Where Martinelli is just a right
Pure
side,
winger.
Just a pure winger. That's where he plays. So he just play there. So he might develop quicker than Saka does. If I was Saka and his agent, I wouldn't sign this new Arsenal contract because Arsenal ain't sacking Arteta anytime soon. And he completely burnt him out. And they got no players to come in and compete with Saka in that position. I just don't see anything happening in that. I think they got Marquinhos in for $3.5 million, but he's an unknown quality. He's an unknown quality for $3.5 million.
I've
weird transfer.
Do you know what's if I was an Arsenal fan, do you know what I'd be annoyed about? Yves Bissouma going to Tottenham because
and they went all over that, don't they?
Because I remember there were links, and I'm big up Drifty because he mentioned this. Bissouma didn't want Liverpool because he was actually looking at Arsenal. He wants to go to Arsenal because obviously I think he had a little bit of like an affinity of the club because I think that's the club he supported. And then Arsenal go to Brighton first to get Ben White. Okay, fair enough. They go back to Brighton, but they look for Leandro Trossard. And I think Bissouma was like, had enough. I was like, you know what? I've been trying to go to you. Like, you're looking past me. Yeah. I'm going to go Tottenham. And we're like, how the hell did you mess that up?
25 million as well.
Oh, wow.
No money. Absolutely no money. It's weird. It's weird rivals want Pep and Klopp to hate each other for it to be considered a proper rivalry. Yeah, apparently they got to throw pizzas and beer at each other and swear at each other and stuff like that. It's madness. It's madness. I've said this before, though. I think Pep secretly hates Jurgen Klopp. I've said it. I think Klopp has a lot of respect for Pep. I think Pep secretly hates Jurgen Klopp.
But he can't say it to the cameras.
Yeah, I think he secretly hates it. Because when he is getting interviewed in press match conferences, and he always brings Liverpool up, even if the question ain't about Jurgen Klopp. And you see, just admit you hate us. If you admit it now, let's get on with it. Because we're in your head for God knows reason. We're in your head. And we've always been in Pep's head. I mean, look at that Man City documentary when at half time was talking about Salah and Van Dijk and all that sort of lot.
Is what PK is. I remember what PK said. PK was like, he hated Mourinho and had to take a sabbatical because he couldn't handle the mind games and all that.
Yeah.
Maybe that might be the answer to us stopping City.
Klopp just getting his head, continue getting it. But I don't think Klopp makes mind games. If he does, he's the greatest ever because he don't look like he does them.
I think he's a little bit too. This sounds so rude. I think he's a little bit too idiotic for mind games.
Yeah.
Just the way he does it, he's just a little bit too simple for mind games. Because you think of mind games, you think of like Fergie, Mourinho, all that. It's like Klopp is like, I just let my team do the talking.
Yeah, Klopp couldn't play poker, could he?
Yeah.
He's quite easy to read. You know, Klopp's got a happy face and an angry face, and he shows you both of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He just shows you both. That's what I love about him, though. I bet if you met Jurgen Klopp in the street and asked to take a selfie, he'd probably take it for you. You know, take it by the hand and say thank you very much and stuff like that. You know, he just seems like one of them guys, don't he?
I think so as well, yeah, for sure.
That's why I love him, man. I think we need cover on the right wing for Salah, I believe. Gangandeep is probably right because looking at our forward line next season, Rand, so our front three will probably be Salah, Diaz and Darwin Nunez. And that's a tasty front three, by the way. Then your backup front three is going to probably be Bobby, Jota and Carvalho. Now, we know Jota is terrible off the right-hand side. Bobby only can play through the middle. And Carvalho is more suited to the left-hand side still. So in that three, you'd probably think Carvalho might play on the right. So do we need a backup right-sided attacker this season?
I think someone who's versatile that can play the right wing, I'll happily take.
Yeah.
I know they'll be going back to Marcel Sabitzer, but Sabitzer can play centre mid and he can play right wing.
Yeah, there you go. Someone like that at the main time.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think with Mo? Because the other day on Twitter, I don't know if you saw it, there was rumours that Liverpool are quite optimistic that Mo will sign a new contract. What's your take on it all?
I want it done. I'm sick and tired of this wage saga thing. I want us to get all this done and get on with the season. I think we've come to the acceptance that Mane will be leaving.
Yeah.
I just at least keep one of them available, and hopefully Salah is that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this yesterday with Salah that no matter, I love Mo. Mo's got an ego, and all footballers at the top end of the game have an ego. That's why they're so driven. Mo's ego might be now like, Sadio's gone. I'm the man. You know, I've had to share it with Sadio all this time. Now Sadio's gone, I'm the don around here. I'm the governor. I'm the man. You know, in this team now, Sadio's gone. So me thinking that, you know, he looks at Liverpool. He sees that Darwin Nunez is coming. You know, the team's improving. We've got Diaz in January. Trent's getting right back cover. You know, we're looking at midfielders. Kanate's coming. He's looking decent. Jurgen Klopp's staying for 4 more years. The backroom staff staying for 4 more years. You can see improvements in the squad. If Liverpool came up to him this summer and went, look, Mo, you've seen all the improvements in the team. We want to improve the team continuously now as we move on in this path we're going on now. The stadium's getting built up. We're going to get more revenue, more commercial revenue. All this stuff is going to happen to the team. We're looking at maybe Jude Bellingham next summer. Things like that. Here's 300 grand a week. Do you reckon Mo should sign?
Yes. Unequivocally yes, mainly because that we're looking to stay in this success, which I think that's his most important thing. And obviously Klopp staying is a big one. Us looking to buy, also obviously signing Darwin Nunez and Fabio Carvalho is good young signings that can be there for a long time. And obviously now that we're starting to build the stadium up to be at the same level as your Old Traffords, your Camp News, your Bernabéus, I think it's a no-brainer for Mo.
Yeah.
And I think we're doing all we can to hit his thresholds, which we are doing at this moment in time.
Yeah. No, I agree. The thing with Mo as well, Mo knows that's not like these players know Liverpool have a wage structure. Mo knows that. Mo's agent knows that. So going to 400 to 500 grand a week is just not going to happen. It's just, personally, this might sound mad. I've said it a few times. I said it on Coppish as well, and I think the boys agreed on that. I don't think Mo's all-round game is good enough to be a 400 to 500 grand a week footballer. I really don't. I think his all-round game can be frustrating at times when you're a Liverpool fan. It really can be. But the man gets goals. He bangs goals. And goals are the currency in football. But for that reason alone, that's why I think 300 grand a week would make him the highest earner in that club's history by a mile. And he's also part of something that's getting bigger and better going forward. It's not like he's going to sign this new contract and next week Jurgen's going to be gone. You know, and the club are not going to spend. Things are moving on. So, you know, I don't know how you feel about that. I mean, I know I said, like, he's not worth 4. But I don't know how you feel about that, right? I just don't think his game is that level of a 400, 500 grand a week footballer. You've got to remember, around the world, if he got 500 grand a week, he'd be the 6th or 7th highest paid player in European football history.
Exactly. And I think you have to put it into perspective. He gets 400k a week. You earn double the amount of Virgil van Dijk, double the amount of Trent Alexander-Arnold. And is he double the player of those two?
No, it's just not, is it?
Exactly. Not. So
it causes problems. But I think 300 grand a week FSG could go to, because I think we had that in our means.
And I think also it makes a good point. Jamrock made a good point earlier. If our revenue keeps on growing and if he stays, the likelihood is that if he stays, our revenue will keep on going up.
I'll get a bit up.
And the wages can increase ever so slightly because of the amount of shirt sales that he generates for the club. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I think 300k for him would be more than enough, in my opinion.
Exactly. It's like But the only problem in it could be that Sadio Mane is going to Bayern Munich and going on 360. Now this could be the problem. This is where wages around football, I think it's just ridiculous at the moment. Look, with Sadio Mane, I always say this with Sadio Mane, when he's going to Bayern Munich, but Bayern Munich are not going to get the best version of Sadio Mane. We had the best version of Sadio Mane at that time. 27, 28-year-old Sadio Mane was arguably the best left-sided attacker in world football at that time.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And, people can bring up Neymar to me, and no, thank you very much. For me, Mane was more consistent than Neymar over that time. And for me, he was the best around at that time. And to pay a man 360 grand a week now, when Mane is obviously not the player he was, I don't think he's in decline. I just think he's there might just be a slight decline, like a little angle, like a 5% angle on the down, not a full decline. But you can't pay for Liverpool, they can't go, right, we'll give you 360 grand a week as a 30-year-old. For me, that just don't work. He probably should have been paid that when he was 27. But that is what it is. Mane, I never knew how much Mane was on. And the reason I never knew how much Sadio Mane was on is because he never moaned. He never spoke about it.
Literally.
He never spoke about it. Because he never spoke about it, I just assumed Mane was on good wages.
Like 170 a week or something.
Yeah, like that. I never assumed he was on 100 grand a week all this time, which is quite mad considering he did do a contract with you, I do believe, at one time.
Mm-hmm.
So how much?
So he must have been about 70k a week when he first started.
Yeah. And then he went up to the 100 grand mark, which, you look at it, you think, maybe because I've said this as well. Sadio Mane and Mo Salah have contributed exactly the same to Liverpool Football Club in their time together.
Yeah.
Not one's been, I know Mo gets the goals and all that, but as a contribution to the football club, what we've gone to achieve, they contributed exactly the same. So their wages should be exactly the same. That's why if Mane stayed around and Mo went on twice as much as Mane, you got issues all over the park. So I think FSG know as well they're going to have to stretch and move their wage structure up because wages are getting so out of hand in football. If you want to keep the best players now, we're gonna have to stretch that wage structure up a little bit. And I think if you go to a wage structure of the top earner in your club gets 300 grand a week at the moment, and then everyone else underneath it, I think that's a structure that people can come to the club thinking, you know what, I can aim to get 300 grand a week at Liverpool. I think that's a good structure at the club. I honestly do.
And then when the revenue keeps on growing, as obviously, hopefully, Jamrock predicts will happen.
Yeah,
the threshold will be 350.
Exactly.
Then when it grows again, it'll be 400.
Yeah.
So hopefully it can stay. We can maintain it, but it's just giving stupid wages to players that shouldn't be on those wages.
This is the problem. So Serge Gnabry has turned down. I know Liverpool people are going, right, Liverpool should go for Serge Gnabry. Serge Gnabry just turned down 250 grand a week at Bayern Munich. No one at Liverpool's on that. No one at Liverpool's on that. So it's just not going to happen. Wages are just so out of control, and
and wages are the most important because the transfer fees is the most.
Transfer fees are nothing. Everyone
but it's the wages and the amount of money you earn a year and the contract of how long you are is the big burner of money. That's why obviously Terry says net spending ain't real, because you pay 20 million for Thiago, but the main cost is the wages, which is about 40 million for 4 years.
Yeah, so the wages are double wage transfer fee. Exactly. That's why it doesn't really count.
Exactly, man.
So Gargle here says, I think Bowen is better than Rafinha and Bellingham. They cost £75 million, and I guess that is too much for Liverpool after signing Nunez and Carvalho. I love Bowen. I think Bowen is a tremendous footballer. I know people saw him play for England yesterday, and they're like, oh no, everyone says Bowen's better than Rafinha. You're all jokes and all that. Bowen was trying to play with Gareth Southgate England. It's totally it's not the same thing. Rafinha would have struggled in the Gareth.
Everyone was shocking that game.
Yeah,
every single player was shocking.
And Harry Kane's dive was terrible.
Oh, well, it was.
Did you see that? That was. But he gets away with it. Why does Kane get love for diving and no one else does?
I don't know. Apparently, it's great play. It's great play.
Great play, but when Mo does it, he's a cheating bastard.
Yeah.
But I like Bowen. I mean, I've said it for about 18 months now. I remember when I went on Coppish at the beginning of this season, and I said I'd have Bowen over Rafinha. And I got laughed at. People might still laugh at me now, but the reason is I don't think there's a lot in it between what their attributes are. Yeah, Rafinha is more techy, he's Brazilian and stuff like that. But the end goal is assists and goals scored in them positions. And I don't think there's much difference between a Rafinha and Bowen in them particular areas. And the thing with Bowen, Rafinha's got a bit of an attitude problem. And he plays every week for Leeds. If you bring him somewhere like Liverpool where he's not going to play every week, can you guarantee his attitude's not going to be stinky? This is the problem with Rafinha. But if you've got a Bowen in, I think Bowen would be more like, yeah, okay, I understand Mo's there. I'm going to work my arse off and try and get that right-sided play. I don't know what you think of that, Ran.
You know what? If I do believe, yeah, if Bowen does come to Liverpool, he'll play a lot better for England because he'd be so accustomed to low blocks, and it will make him more of a player than he is right now. Yeah. But like you said, I am not too sold on Rafinha's attitude. Attitude stinks. It stinks so bad. And the most important thing in Liverpool is the attitude. You need to have a good person. Like Alisson, like you talk about the profile players that we have. The only out there sort of character is probably Harvey Elliott, and he's only 19. So I guarantee you, Henderson and Milner would be telling him to shut up and make sure you do your talking on the pitch.
Yeah.
Van Dijk doesn't really talk that much. No. Ali definitely doesn't talk. No. Firmino doesn't talk. No. Thiago's more of a quiet, like hangs around. Tsimikas talks, but Tsimikas talks because he's like the funny guy of the group, innit?
Yeah, great guy.
So I don't know. I'm not sold on Rafinha. I think he'll be a little bit too much for us. And Bowen is more like English homegrown talent, innit? Homegrown quota. Yeah. So
very good footballer. Very good footballer. I think he don't get the respect he deserves because he's English and he plays for West Ham.
And he's got a receding hairline.
Yeah. I do think we have a snobbery about English players still in this country. I don't know about you. I really do. I think there's some English players there. There's a lot of English players that got great technical ability. And because they're English, we don't give them this respect they're due.
English players.
We also do that at managers.
Yeah.
Graham Potter is a fantastic coach. I believe Graham Potter should be England coach, England manager.
Yeah, someone said it here. I think it was who said it? Graham Potter should be. Yeah, Tony Kay. Tony Kay was like, I think England should sack Southgate and get Graham Potter, and he plays much better attacking football.
He'd be brilliant as an international coach. He'd be fantastic.
And he has that sort of like humble personality. Yeah. Where he's like,
but he's a great coach. But you don't get the respect because his name's Graham Potter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is that snobbery in English football, I still think.
Look, I still say this, yeah. I'll say this again. Jared Bowen, even though he played crap, he didn't play that well against Hungary yesterday or for England at all. He's the English Iron Robin. He's got the hairline as well, man. That hairline. That's the only thing that's not going for him, in my opinion. It's not good. It's not good, but yeah, he's a quality player, in my opinion.
He's a very good player. Gangadi says, question for Aaron Jamie. Do you worry about Liverpool after Klopp leaves? I don't know any other manager in world football can bring success to a club under such a rigid model other than Klopp.
Only Hansi Flick I can think of that plays a similar model. Yeah,
maybe Hansi Flick. But I'd be worried if City lose Pep as well. I mean, if City lost Pep, they'd be worried as well. But these managers are such at a high standard, at elite level. No matter how good the team is and the squad is, they're going to lose a little bit when their managers leave. Look at Man United. Look, Alex Ferguson, when he left United in that Premier League winning season, that squad was dead. I don't know how he actually done it. You go back and look at that squad he won the last Premier League with 9 years ago. What a great team. What a great squad of players.
Tom Cleverley.
Yeah, he somehow got it over the line because how good he is as a coach. And you see the difference now. I mean, the Man United team now is arguably better than the team that won the Premier League title. like player for player. You know, you look at the players that are available to the squads. But the management set up at United is all wrong. It's just when you lose that, look at Arsenal, Wenger kept them in the top 4 forever, you know, and Arsenal fans kept saying, "Oh, well, you want more than top 4." Now all they want is top 4. It's amazing how it works, isn't it? And they've never found the right formula. When you lose these managers, you've got to make sure you get it right straight away. You've got to make sure you get it right straight away. Otherwise, you fall behind again. So Klopp does leave, and Liverpool think like someone like Hansi Flick is the right man to be in charge. Liverpool will make sure that if Klopp tells them, because I don't think Klopp's the sort of manager even goes, right, it's the end of the season, but I'm leaving. He will give Liverpool a year to know, in my opinion. I think Jurgen Klopp will go to Liverpool like, this is my last year. And even with that time, Liverpool will have that whole year to make sure they get the right replacement.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think it's either Hansi Flick or Julian Nagelsmann, in my opinion. If he does better.
I think we'll go down the German route again. I really do. So when you have a BMW, it breaks, you get another BMW. You know what I mean? It's what you do. I think Jerry James Show, big up Jerry James Show. You're doing well, Jerry. I think it depends on what you want of our wide players. You don't need your wide players to score. I do believe Rafinha trumps Bowen in regards of assists and creativity. Fair enough.
That's a fair point.
But Bowen is a bigger goal threat. Yeah. It all depends. I mean, you look at City. Mahrez is more of their creative winger. Sterling's more of their goal-scoring winger. Jack Grealish is more of their creative winger than their goal-scoring winger. I think that's what they bought him for, that creativity on the wings. In a Klopp system, I think Klopp just he likes his inside forwards to be goal scorers. I think that's what Klopp looks for more. Because Trent and Robbo are your creative players. The midfield are also creative in a way, the way they win the ball back and quickly move it forward to the attacking players. Klopp sees that as creativity as well, where we might not think it. I think Klopp sees the midfield as they win the ball back really quickly and they release the ball really quickly. I think Klopp sees that as creativity. We might not, but I think Klopp does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean by that? Where they win the ball back really quickly and they get rid of the ball quick. You know, they feed into the forward straight away. It might not be a creative pass, but I think Klopp sees that as creativity. And,
creative initiative.
Yeah, exactly. And Diaz on the left-hand side. Look, Diaz next season, I'm telling everyone right now, he's going to be different. He's had 4 months in the Premier League to settle down, get used to it, know what it's about. He's going for pre-season. Klopp's going to work on the things he thinks he might need working on, mainly his finishing. I'll tell you, Diaz next season, he's going to have 20 goals in all competitions next season. It's Diaz, in my opinion.
In all competitions, you say?
Yeah, in all comps.
Okay.
I think he can bag 20 goals. I don't think he's the Mane like for like. Mane's more of your inside forward, where I think Diaz is an out-and-out winger. I think he's more of a wide winger, touchline winger than what Mane was. But I think the key here is Darwin Nunez. Darwin Nunez is 6'1", 6'2". He's automatically going to get the eyes of centre-backs. When centre-backs see a tall forward, centre-backs immediately, their attention goes on that tall forward, where I think that will open up a lot of space for the likes of Diaz and Mo Salah next season.
Speaking of distribution, imagine Alisson playing the long ball towards Darwin Nunez, and Nunez has it on for Salah or Diaz.
Oh, yeah. I mean, do you know what I can't wait for as well, Ram? Because everyone's talking about his first touch, his key passing. What I can't wait for is that Alisson does one of them things and he just flicks it around the corner for a Diaz and all that, and we're all like, oh, yes. Just gets rid of all that. Just gets rid of all that nonsense straight away.
Yeah, literally.
I've gone back and actually had a look. I've looked at his Champions League games. They're the games I've looked at. I've looked back at his Champions League games, and his link-up play is actually really good in the Champions League games. His link-up play is really good. The problem is, and I'll keep saying this, when you go on stats and look at a stat, it might not tell you the full truth because he might be too good for the team he played for. So the passes he's passing around, no one else is reading, so they're not getting on the end of them. So then that stat looks terrible. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm saying with stats. When Diaz comes to Liverpool, he's got Salah on the right of him, Diaz on the left of him. He's got Thiago and Fabinho behind him. If he can't make a pass of any of them players, then we've got issues. That's what.
Literally, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to be much better, and people think. So if the mighty Reds Liverpool finished the Premier League and win it by 20 times and win the Champions League in the 7th time, and it'd be enough for me, I'm sure, for many fans. If we won the Premier League and Champions League double this season, yeah, that would. Jesus Christ.
That would top everything off, man.
Because I do think we're going to bum the FA Cup and League Cup off this season.
Oh.
I think we're going to go back to that.
I wish we wouldn't. I think Klopp's
like, I've won them now. So let's put them to the back burner. Because I think Klopp saw his team mentally fried at the end of the season. And it's because we went for all 4 trophies. Which I do think is impossible. I don't think any team will ever do it. To play 64 matches and try and win all them competitions your squad has got to be 3 squad deep, in my opinion, not even 2 squad deep. It's got to be 3 squad deep.
Oh, Jamie.
Because that is so difficult. I mean, we came as close to anybody. I look at the Man United team in 1999 that won the treble. They couldn't do it. The City team of the other 2 seasons back when they won the domestic domestic treble, but instead of the Champions League. It's so difficult. And I just think Klopp would be like, yeah, the FA Cup and League Cup, I'm just going to play the kids and the youngsters in that and see how far we can get in them competitions and just concentrate on Premier League and Champions League next season. I really feel that's how he's going to think.
Yeah, I don't know.
You feel it as well, don't you?
I don't want it to happen though. I want us to challenge for all fronts. On all fronts, I want us to challenge. But from the looks of things, it feels as though he's going to put them aside, which I'm not a massive fan of. I want us to go and win everything, man.
Yeah, same.
I really do. But
I just think that's what he's going to do next season. This guy's feeling. Jem Rock say here. And James Fitz Football Chats, this team has mentally fried because we didn't rotate enough. It's as simple as that. Yeah, I think with the 5 sub rules next season, I think we'll rotate a heck of a lot. I think Trent was apparently playing in the, I don't know if you heard this, Ram, Trent was playing in the critical zone a lot last season. And they were worried about Trent, but Klopp had no one to replace him with. So with the 5 sub rule next season, you could play Trent in games. We're winning comfortably in some games. After an hour, you go, Trent, right, you're coming off. Ramsey, you're going on. And then I've still got 4 substitutions left. It makes such a big difference.
That's true. That is very true.
It's going to make that. Klopp can't take Trent off in games. If Klopp takes Trent off in a game, he's only got 2 subs left. So Klopp's like, I can't take Trent off. I need to take other players off in other areas. But this season with 5 subs, I think it's going to. I mean, look at Champions League. He always makes 5 subs in Champions League all the time. So I do think we'll change it up quite a bit. Jamie and Ram, you need to check out Rabona TV YouTube channel run by a Benfica fan who does a breakdown on Darwin Nunez's strengths and weaknesses. I will check it out. You ever heard of that, Ram?
I've heard of Rabona TV. Yeah, I'll go have a look at it, see what they're talking about.
Check it out. What's Jody say here? Colombia, Egypt, Scotland, many others from our sides are not in the World Cup, so we'll get a nice break. Yeah,
that is very true. That is very true.
Robbo needs a break more than anyone.
Literally. Oh my goodness.
Robbo has been running.
Well, so Robertson's not going. Diaz ain't going. Salah's not going.
Mane's not with us no more.
So Mane's not with us.
Darwin will probably go.
He'll probably go.
But no, Diaz and Salah have a last little winter break. Yeah,
Konate might go.
Yeah.
Joe might not go.
No, Gomez won't.
Matip's not going as well. Matip's not going as well.
Samuel Eto'o told him go away, didn't he?
Yeah.
Stretch your bum off England full stop.
Yeah, that's that. I wish he could do that, but
He just
Yeah.
gets abused whatever he does, Trent. It's a madness. I do notice when Trent don't play, we get hammered. I don't know if anyone's noticed that.
Oh, like yesterday.
Yeah. When Trent don't play, it all does go wrong. I will never forget when we were 0-0 when Reece James came on for Trent in the second half and gave away a penalty.
And then we lost. Oh my goodness!
I mean, it just
every Chelsea fan was in the mud by then.
Yeah. You notice they've been very quiet since.
Yeah, and then he ended up conceding 4.
Yeah. I think Trent. This myth about him it has to stop. Go and look at Trent's stats for defending. He has some of the best one-on-one defenders in Europe for stats. He's in the Champions League. He made that one mistake, and it just weren't him, by the way, for Vinicius' goal. It was probably the whole back line. Right? He did look behind him. But apart from that, Vinny Jr. never went past Trent once in that Champions League final.
No.
Not once. And we was all worried about it. And Trent was like, no, I'm all right. I mean, when Trent takes Sane at bay as well when he was a Man City.
Reece James plays in the back 3.
Yeah, he has protection.
And then I remember in the back 4, he got spun by Kieran Tierney.
Yeah.
So,
this is you know what I mean?
I said on the terrace, I think Matty Cash as a defender, as a solid defensive defender, I think he's better as a defensive player. But people don't want to listen to that because Reece James is just bigger and plays for Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and what everyone's saying is that we all like Reece James as a footballer. He's a good footballer.
Yeah, he is a very good footballer.
He's a good footballer. In fact, I think Trent and Reece could play together. If you're playing a back 3, put Reece as one of the back 3. Put Trent at right wing back. Job done. Get the best out of the players.
Overlapping centre backs.
Yeah, why not? It's a new thing. Just play them. Get these players in this team. Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think Gary Lineker said it best. You have to find a way of having Trent in this 11. It's as simple as that. He's too good not to be in it. Can you imagine if Trent? I think Cafu said it himself when he was over in England the other week before the end of the season. And he got asked about Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he said he's his favourite right back. And he basically said if he was Brazilian, he'd be number 1 right back for Brazil. Defending won't be a problem because what he does going forward. Can you imagine if he was Brazilian?
Oh my God!
Everyone would be like, "Well,
I only right back I can remember that's a goat, a full back that is a goat, and is defensively sound. Sorry, a right back that is a goat. That is defensively better than him going forward was probably Philip Lahm. That's it. I can't think of anyone else. It. And don't forget, Philip Lahm going forward was not a mug. He could actually go forward and do the business.
Right. He was so good on the ball. He ended up playing defensive midfielder, if I'm right.
Yeah, he did for Pep.
Very good footballer. So Real Madrid's wage bill is at 4.6 million. Man United 4.1. Liverpool 3. Chelsea 3.4. Liverpool then 3.2, City 3, Bayern Munich. See, the thing with Liverpool's wage bill, we have a lot of bonuses included in our wages. That is why the season after we won the league, the following season, we had the number 1 wage bill in the country because all the bonuses got activated.
Yeah.
And, that's how Liverpool operate. Liverpool always operate that bonus thing. But now Barcelona are down here now. They've not got a certain Messi on their wage bill. Just taking it all up. But guys, we're going to call it a day there. Thank you for everyone coming in today. It's been a great show. You guys in the comments are excellent as always. And Ram, thank you very much for spending 2 hours of your time with me, my friend.
It's all good, man. I had my debut now. I have my first 4 more appearances. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. You're in now. You're in. Ram, let everyone know where they can find you in the YouTube channel, my friend.
Yeah. So everybody subscribe to the Ram Stand. Started off my new YouTube channel again. After certain people were like, start it. So I was like, yeah, let's go on. Let's do it. So you can subscribe to the Ram Stand. And if you want, you can follow my Twitter as well at LRB Rams, where you could I put out some notifications about my channel and also some Liverpool stuff on the way in some spaces. But yeah, that's pretty much it, really.
There you go, guys. So make sure you catch him. And I will put, after we finish here, I'm going to put Ram's details in the description, guys. So go and check it out as well. Go and click on that link. And something, Ram's a great guy. A Liverpool fan. The Liverpool community is the best on YouTube. Without a shadow of a doubt. What did Jamrock say before we leave? Well, Jamie, the problem with the narrative with the bonuses is that the wage will barely moved last year, and we didn't do nothing last year. On that one, guys, I'm back at 10 p.m. tonight talking about midfielders, Liverpool's midfield options, guys. So come back at 10 p.m. tonight, guys, and we'll do that. Till then, guys, make sure you stay